Hello and welcome to this video tutorial. This is going to be a video on saving data from Google Maps into into a database and then retrieving that data and displaying on Google Maps using a tooltip or using info window or whatever it is. So basically, what we are trying to do is is, uh, is take the latitude, longitude, or give some description to that, and then save it into a database. So we'll first have a look into the database. This is the database that is called the Google Maps, and this is also a table which is called the values. And if you look at the structure of values, it has an ID, it has a lat, it has a long. Okay, I'll just rename this. It's supposed to be long. Okay, it has a longitude and DES. DES stands for description. Now, one thing you have to keep in mind is that latitude and longitude will have negative values, and it will have a large number of decimal digits. So make sure that you keep it as double. Int will not handle decimal values, so you have to make sure that this is always double. Okay, now the next thing that we have to do is um, to get the values from this particular thing. So this is actually a tutorial that I've already done. This is called the autocomplete. So if you have not watched this tutorial on autocomplete, then you should probably watch this, because if you didn't watch this, like you will find this really confusing. So over here you can see that if I can type India excuse me if I type India and then click on the selection, I get the latitude and longitude. So what I want is actually I need a description over here, and that give another input element or a form, and then put this inside a form. Right now, if I inspect element, you can see that this is inside a div with an ID of value, but this is not inside a form. So if I want to submit this and then insert that submitted value to this particular table, I need to create this as a form. So we'll do that first. So this is the div with ID value. So I'm going to wrap this div inside a form, and then give action to a particular page called save.php. Now what is save.php we'll see soon, and if you want you can give a method. It's going to be post, and then I'm going to close the form, and then I'm going to create input type equals submit, and then I'll close this. So basically what I've done is I've created a form, then I've created a submit button to submit that form, and this div will hold the input elements that are dynamically created depending upon the place that is chosen from the drop down. So yeah, so as I told earlier, we need to have a description box also. So what we are going to do here is add a description over here, and so over here I'll type in description. Oops. And then I'm going to type in input type equals text, and yeah. Now another thing that we need to keep in mind is that these input box doesn't have a name, so we need to give a name for that. So we'll give a name as value, and then put a square bracket over here. Now this is to indicate that this value, this name value is going to have an array of values, or this is basically having an array of values. So over here also, as longitude also you need to have a name. That is, again, I'm going to give it as value, and same goes for description. Now the reason why I have taken values as an as a name for I'm really excuse me please. The reason why I have chosen name as a value is because say if you it's because you will have the first element as that is the counting starts from 0, right? So the 0th element is going to be latitude, the first element is going to be longitude, the second element is going to be the value or the description. Okay, now again, if you for the second location, so for example, if it is not just one location, if you have multiple locations, um, if you have multiple location, then over here this is going to be the third element is going to be the latitude of this particular location. Then the fourth element is going to be the longitude of this particular location, and it goes like that. So if you can get the count of the number of values that are present inside the post array, you can actually create an SQL statement, and then insert that value, or that, run that SQL query to insert the value inside the table. So if you don't understand what I'm talking about, stay with this tutorial. You learn why I'm saying this. I mean, this is not the only way by which you can get values into your table. There are plenty of other ways. Um, if you are using a framework, then you won't need to create something like this. You can just call the save method inside your framework, and that will get your work done for you. I prefer Cake PHP, and I wouldn't be doing this in Cake PHP in this manner. So this is for tutorial for people to understand this. So this is the save.php file. This has nothing but three statements. The first statement is nothing but the connect statement, which will connect to database. I mean the database, MySQL database, and this will select the database, which is nothing but Google Maps. I think I have already talked about the table. Now what we need to do is insert into this particular table. Insert into this particular table called the values, and I have a mistake over here. This is supposed to be long, right? So over here, if you look at this long, right? So I've just renamed that. Okay, now if you can create a string like this, an SQL query like this, you can just execute this SQL and get the value inserted in your database. So for example, over here you can see values, and this is the first set of values. This is going to be the second set of values, and you can you can create n number of values, and you can insert that into the database. Okay, so we will be doing something like that. So if I just print our this post array, what I can get is something like this. So I'll just refresh my page, and then I'm gonna type in USA, and then Mexico, and okay, now I'm gonna give this as this description. Then I'm gonna submit this. So what I have over here is this big array with the 0th element of latitude, and then the first element is going to be the longitude. Then the second element is going to be USA. So basically what this has is the first three element is for the first location. Okay, the second three elements is for the second three location, and that goes okay. Now what we need to do is get the first three elements, create the value, create this part, get the second three elements, set of second three elements, and create this part. And how many ever, I mean, depending upon the number of places, you can group into three and create these the string, and then you can create the rest of the strings and append this particular part to the string that we have already created, and then execute the query to insert that into the table. So we'll see that soon. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a for loop for $I equals, or I'll do one thing, say I'll keep it as I itself. $I equals 0, $I less than count of $_post of value. The reason why I've chosen like that is this is the post array, this is going to be the value, and yeah, so it will count the number of key value pairs that are present inside the post array with the key values. Okay, so this is what it counts. So basically over here we have 5 elements, so this is going to be 5 over here, and then I'm going to type in dollar I equals dollar I plus 3. So what basically this does is it will iterate every 3 sets of 3 sets, like um, it will iterate every 3 sets. So which means it will take the first 3 set, then it will increment by 3, then again it will take the second 3 set. I'll show you what exactly what I'm talking about. So I'm going to create a variable called SQL, and then I'm going to copy this part. Okay, then I'm going to paste it over here. So the first thing over here is going to be the ID, which will keep it as null. MySQL will automatically increment the ID. This part is going to be the longitude, so I'm just going to copy and delete that, and then I'm going to append the post array over here. So I'm going to type in dollar post of value, and then I'm going to say I want to get the 0th element, so which is like this. Okay, so ith element is going to be, when we start from here, ith element is going to be 0. So inside dollar underscore post, inside the value, inside the key value, it's going to be an array, and the value with the 0th key should be the latitude of the first place. Okay, I hope that makes sense. And after that, I need is the longitude, right? So I'm going to copy that and then paste it over here. This is going to be the longitude of the place, and this is going to be that is the last one, that is description. So in order to get the longitude, I need to increment I with 1, and in order to get description, I need to increment I with 2. I hope that makes sense. And then I didn't terminate the string, so I'll terminate that, but I have an error over here. Yeah, the error is just because I don't need okay, now I think that's working. So I hope this is clear to be clear. Basically what we need over here is that if you start counting from 0, dollar underscore post of values is going to be an array, and then we have the 0th value inside that array. So dollar underscore post is this big array, and the 0th element is going to be the first value, that is a latitude of the first place. So likewise you have the second place, second value, this is going to be the longitude, and then the third one is going to be the description. Now after that we are incrementing I with 3, so which means from 0 it is going to be incremented by 3. So it starts from 3 over here, right? It starts from 3 over here. So over here the first value will be 3, then comes 4, then comes 5. So what we have is the first value, that is this latitude, then comes this value, and then comes the description. So I hope that makes sense. And now we'll echo this dollar SQL, and we'll see what we get. I'm going to resubmit this form, and this is what I get. But then if you noticed, we just have one set of values. We are supposed to get 2 set of values. The reason is inside the for loop I didn't append this, so every time SQL is created, it gets overwritten again and again. So I just put a dot over here before the equal to symbol, so this will append to whatever is already present inside this variable. So if I just resubmit this form, you can see that I have 2 locations, USA and Mexico. So another thing we have to keep in mind is that you need to put a comma after this only if you have a third set of values. So we don't need to have a comma for the last set of values. So for that you need to use the substr function of PHP that will let you remove the last comma. So I'm going to type in substr SQL 0 and then -1. So basically what this does is it will remove the last part of the SQL. Okay, last one what is it the one string. Okay, one letter, whatever that is. So what this is going to remove is this part, this comma. So we'll just resubmit the page, and we don't have that comma there. So that's it. Now what we need to do is we need to add this much things, I mean these things, basic things, to this present SQL. So I'm gonna type in SQL equals, I'm gonna append this again, and then no, okay, um, I'll type in query. I'll create a new string, a new variable, query equals, okay, I'll paste it over here, um, insert into Google Maps dot values, and this is going to be ID, lat, log, and description, and then values is going to be this SQL. So I'm going to copy this over here and then append this over here into this particular string. So this query is actually the actual SQL query that we need to execute to insert our value into the database. So what so yeah, that's it. So we'll just echo dollar query, and we'll just die the statement over here, and we'll see what exactly what we are getting. So basically we have the entire MySQL insert string, insert into group in the Google Maps dot values, ID, latitude, longitude, description, values. Yeah, that's it. Now we need to call MySQL query to run this query and then insert this into our table. So MySQL underscore query is going to be this query. So this should insert. So I'm gonna get this status is equal to, so if I have a status, or if insertion was successful, I'm gonna echo out inserted, and if else, echo error. So I'm gonna save this, I'm gonna refresh my page. So I get something like this, inserted. So I'm gonna go back to my PHP myadmin, browse the table called values, and what I have is all the excuse me, what I have is all the inserted. I have like 4 values inserted. I think that the rest of it I had already inserted it earlier. So I'll delete the entire thing, and then